So, it's coming to the end of your year as an office bearer, which means it's time to organise your group's annual general meeting, or AGM. This is a meeting where members of societies and volunteering groups elect a new committee, present annual and financial reports, and make any changes to your group's constitution. So what do office bearers need to do to prepare for an AGM? The first thing you need to do is pick a date, making sure you take into account the re-registration deadline before the exams in semester 2. Secondly, make sure you've gone through your group's constitution to check your rules for how you run AGMs. This is also a good time to think about any changes you might want to suggest and prepare a motion on these to put forward at your AGM. Next, your committee needs to make a list of the roles to be filled at the AGM. This is your chance to review some outdated roles or create new ones using the processes detailed in your constitution. Remember, you must always have at least a president, a secretary, and a treasurer. You'll have to make some logistical arrangements for your AGM. Book a room, decide on a voting system, and find an impartial member to count the votes. You're almost there. Don't forget you have to publicise your AGM at least 14 days before it takes place. Make sure you let your members know they can submit motions for consideration. Only student members who have been registered for at least a month before the AGM can vote or stand in the election, so it's important they know that too. Be clear about the key dates, including when nominations open and close, and the date, time and location of the AGM itself. Here's an example of a nomination form you can use. After the reports have been presented and any proposed changes have been voted on, it's time to elect your new committee. Everyone who's standing for election has a chance to make a speech, and members can ask them questions. You might want to consider setting a time limit for speeches and questions. Once these are over, voting begins. Voting can be done using either a first-past-the-post system or a single transferable vote or STV system. Whichever system you choose, make sure you always include the option to reopen nominations. Once the new committee is elected, make sure a committee handover takes place and the re-registration form is submitted before the deadline. The committee handover should include your constitution, annual and financial reports, records and minutes of meetings, passwords and login information, records of any equipment and storage space used or owned by your group, and a list of useful contacts. Then it's time to celebrate. Why not hold a post-AGM social to welcome in the new team and congratulate the outgoing committee on a job well done?